Imagine this. You have a small plant in a pot. If the soil is bad, you lift it out, change the pot, add fresh soil, and the plant survives easily. Now imagine the same plant after 5 years. Its roots have spread into the ground. You can still move it, but it takes time, effort, patience. Some roots break. The plant struggles. Now imagine it after 20 years. It's a tree. You can't move it. You don't change the soil anymore. All you can do is add fertilizer, medicine, and hope it survives. Habits work exactly the same way. The earlier you change them, the easier it is. The longer you wait, the more effort it takes. And when enough time passes, habits don't disappear, they run your life silently. That's the uncomfortable truth most people avoid. Most people think habits are about motivation or discipline. They're not. They're about how your brain saves energy. Your brain is designed to automate repeated behavior, not because it wants you to fail, but because thinking is expensive. If you had to consciously decide every small action, your brain would burn out. So it creates shortcuts, automatic loops. And once those loops are formed, your brain prefers them, even if they hurt you. This is why bad habits feel stronger than good intentions. Here's something important. Habits do not live in the thinking part of your brain. They live deeper in the part that runs automatically. That part is your subconscious operating system. That's why explaining, convincing, or forcing yourself rarely works. You're talking to the wrong system. What most people don't realize is this. These shortcuts don't live in your conscious mind. They are stored in the subconscious part of your brain. The subconscious doesn't think. It doesn't judge. It doesn't ask whether something is good or bad. It only learns one thing: what worked before. At the core of every habit is a simple psychological loop. Something triggers you. You do something automatically. You get some form of reward. But here's the deeper part. With repetition, the brain links the trigger and reward so tightly that craving appears. And once craving exists, logic becomes weak.
If this already opened your eyes, subscribe to INNERSHIFT.
Your subconscious doesn't just store actions, it stores context, places, time, posture, lighting, silence. For example, at night you're in bed, lights are low, phone is in your hand. That bed becomes a trigger, night becomes a trigger, and your subconscious remembers, last time I was here, scrolling felt good. So before you even decide, your thumb moves. The reward is cheap dopamine, visual novelty, distraction, relief from boredom or stress. And sometimes one bad habit triggers another. Scrolling leads to arousal, arousal leads to touching yourself. And now 2 habits are wired together under one trigger, not because you're weak, but because your subconscious learned a shortcut. Understand this. Willpower lives in the conscious mind. Habits live in the subconscious. By night, the conscious mind is tired. The subconscious takes over, and it runs the program it knows best. Here's the part most people miss. You don't break habits by removing the urge. You break them by interrupting the loop. You don't fight the trigger. You redesign what happens after it. Same trigger, same environment, different responses. For example, if bed plus night triggers scrolling, don't try to resist scrolling. That's a losing game. Instead, visit your gallery area and delete the useless screenshots. It will help to calm down your scrolling urge and clear some phone space for the future. Or switch it to grayscale so that when sleep hits you, you go to bed naturally. Keeping a book near a pillow and other stuff like that is nonsense. The goal here is not motivation. The goal is pattern disruption. Now, here's the part that separates people who grow from people who stay stuck. People who thrive don't rely on motivation. They build systems. They attach new habits to old ones. If you already drink tea every morning, that becomes the trigger. After tea, you read 1 page. After brushing, you stretch for 30 seconds. After shutting your laptop, you write 1 line. This is subconscious rewiring, because identity is shaped by what you repeat, not what you plan. The most powerful habit changes don't feel dramatic, they feel boring. But boring is sustainable. Small routines create small wins. Small wins create belief. Belief creates identity. This is why some people seem disciplined without effort. They're not stronger, they just trained their subconscious earlier. Change doesn't start with massive transformation. It starts with one keystone behavior that forces everything else to reorganize. Fix one habit, other habits are forced to align. The question is not, can I change? The question is, how deep are the roots already? And if you're listening to this right now, you're earlier than you think. If this way of thinking resonates with you, psychology without fluff, habits without motivation talk, clarity without noise, subscribe to INNERSHIFT. Because change doesn't start with hype, it starts with understanding how your subconscious mind actually works.